What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Waterboy Podcast. Today's episode 261. And Alabama and Georgia played in one of the greatest college football games I've ever seen in my life. The MLB playoffs are about to be set when the second game of the Mets-Braves doubleheader wraps up shortly. And the Minnesota Vikings are 4-0, and without doubt, the best team in the NFL as of today. Monday, September 30th, as of today. The Vikings are the best team in the NFL. At minimum, they look like it. We got a lot of places we can start today, but where do you want to start off with?
I feel like it's better if we run through everything. We got a lot of NFL talk. We got a lot. We have a lot.
There's a lot to break down after a very exciting week 4 of NFL.
I feel like it's better to just quickly run through college football and the other topics we have.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Starting off, it is Monday, September 30th. The MLB regular season wraps up today. This is the most wide open MLB playoffs I can remember in a very long time.
That would be last year, Grant. Last year was the most wide open playoffs in a very long time. The Diamondbacks made.
Yeah, that is true. I would say though this year there is no team where I feel confident in them just winning a series. This year, I truly believe there are so many injured players on every single roster. Any of your preseason favorites are decimated with injuries right now. It could be us, the Dodgers. It could be the Yankees. It could be the Astros. It could be Atlanta, who's fighting to get in right now as we speak. But overall, just in terms of how things shook up, I'm just taking a look right now at MLB standings, wildcard standings at the end of the year. And let me just count this right to make sure I have it correct. But I think there were 14 MLB teams who were over 500 this year. We got 3 in the AL East, 500 or better, 4 in the AL Central, 2 in the AL West, and then in the NL, 3 in the East, 3 in the Central, and 3 in the West. This year was crazy. Also, it really helps having a ton of teams over 500 when you have teams like the White Sox this year, who had the second worst record in MLB history. We thought going into the season, it was going to be the A's. Of course, Oakland, many storylines going on right now with Oakland leaving, going to Sacramento. They played their last game in Oakland last Thursday. A lot of sentimental moments. We were going into the season thinking, oh, yeah, if any team's going to set a record for losses in a year, it would definitely be Oakland. Oakland wasn't that bad. 69-93, 42% win record. Not that bad for the payroll of the Oakland A's and the circumstances surrounding them. Mason Miller helped a lot. It helps when you get a rookie closer who throws 103 with like a 2.6 ERA. That'll help. Don't get me wrong. But overall, this whole season, if we're looking at it from a Dodger perspective, we finished the year 98-64. I think if I have this correct, that is our third best season ever win-wise in franchise history. I remember in 2001 when we finished second in the NL West, the only time in the past 13 years that we didn't win the NL West. That was the record for wins in a season for us. We had 106 wins that year, but the Giants happened to have 107. So we didn't win the division.
Crazy.
That year, that Giants run in 2021 was one of the most magical things of all time. And also 2021, I'll remember it very dearly for bouncing Buster Posey, our arch nemesis, out of the playoffs and forcing him into retirement. Just a quick little Posey update, everybody.
So we thought.
Buster Posey, right after retiring with the Giants, he took on a role with the Giants front office. Not sure the exact position, but as of this morning, Buster Posey is now the president of baseball operations of the Giants. That is the same position that Andrew Friedman holds for the Dodgers. So Andrew Friedman versus Buster Posey moving forward. Something to keep an eye on. And I would say, hey, just in terms of player recruitment, having Posey as the president, that that does make the Giants more enticing.
It might help. It might help a little bit. It might help a little bit.
Yeah. But any major takeaway you had to kind of end the season? I want to spend a little bit.
Well, hey, the season's not over yet. Season's not over yet. And I think we kind of save that discussion for another day. Hopefully, a day, after Halloween, more ideally.
Yeah, hopefully we can have a nice October this year. Hopefully we can.
No, I mean, I would say going into the season, there were high expectations, but the expectations, I would say the expectations for the regular season were both met and not met by a very large margin at the same time.
Yeah,
actually, I shouldn't even say expectations were met. The expectations were not met. Period. There were very high above expectations and very, very far below expectations for a wide range of different players, position groups, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, to think we started this year with a shortstop problem. Gavin Lux could not play short in the spring training. You remember when Mookie was our shortstop for a little bit?
Well, it was more than a little bit. That was like a solid maybe quarter to a half of the season.
This has just been a crazy year for the Dodgers, for all teams involved. I
mean, look, we'll end MLB section with this, and this is my statement, and I stand by this. Come every October, if you guys have listened since we first started the podcast, every October I say the same damn thing. If Dave Roberts cannot get a win in the playoffs, a series win in the playoffs with this team, there needs to be some serious discussions.
But wait, so you're telling me you're not in favor of like a bullpen game for game 3? You're telling me you don't want that?
I was expecting that game 1, but I mean, you never know.
Hey, with Dave, like, after last season, I would say I was just so at a turn or just at a crossroads of what I want in the future, just because like game 2 of the NLDS, I genuinely believe that was the best game Dave Roberts has ever managed in his life. And seeing that and just our lineup, we just couldn't hit for him like that. That made my heart hurt for Dave. Like, I know he's going to get all the blame after that loss, but he did it perfect. He managed it perfectly.
True. It's just, I mean,
I'm now on your side because these past couple of weeks, Dave has made some decisions in terms of, well, just this whole year, Dave has made some very interesting decisions to either leave guys in for too long or yank them. And
let's do this since the actual roster hasn't come out. Playoff roster, Grant. Who's going to be on the Dodgers playoff roster?
Let's go playoff lineup first. So, Ohtani's gonna be leading off no matter what, regardless of him being, having 59 steals this year. In terms of speed on the base path, he should be batting first. But also, for a long time, I've kind of been taught that, you want to put your best hitter 2 or 3. You want to protect them in the lineup. You want a good hitter in front. You want a good guy behind them. You want to protect that guy in the lineup so, he can't get taken advantage of with reliever matchups later in the game. There's guys in front of him, behind him, where you have to respect those other 2 hitters, and you can't just simply pitch around your best hitter. I used to be a big proponent of 2-hitter being our main guy, and that has been Freddie for the past couple of seasons. But now with Ohtani is just so good as a hitter. He needs to be hitting leadoff. Like, speed
I would say
aside,
that. Yes.
Base running aside, not even looking at that aspect from that part, 100% he should be leading off. He can get on second the most out of anyone on the team. But he just needs to have the most ABs. Like, just by putting him first, he will be up in crucial moments before.
Now, I do just need to ask this question. Do we know how long Freddie is going to be out?
We're not sure. Freddie.
Yes, Frankie.
Freddie had a kind of tripped up after we took the lead on Saturday. Kind of tripped up going to first. It looks like rolled up his ankle pretty bad. Not gonna lie, but that was last Friday. So Freddie's had some time to sit on it, rest up a little bit, get ready for this next series. He's 100% playing. 100%. I would say, yeah, with lineup though, Otani 1, Mookie 2, Freddie 3. Most years I would say Will 4, but he's been one of the worst hitters on the team this second half of the season. So Teo 4, Teo 4.
Yeah.
I want to keep the lefty righty, lefty righty.
You gotta keep it with the Dave singles, baby.
I want to keep that lefty righty though, just for bullpen matchups later in the game. But Otani, Mookie, Freddie, Teo, Muncy, Will, Edman, Miggy Rowe, and then last man up. I do not care who the 9 hitter is. It could be anyone. I'd say
probably be Lux.
Shit! I forgot about Lux. It's
it is Lux.
I would say one thing I really like moving forward, a guy I've been kind of keep my eye on down the stretch, Tommy Edman. Tommy Edman's been an absolute delight for us down the stretch. I just want to make sure I do him justice. I want to give him his correct numbers because he deserves a lot of credit. But since Tommy Edman came off of DL, when we trade for Tommy, he was hurt. He had not played in a game yet for the Cardinals, where we got him from. He had not played in a game. But this season, Edman's got a 237, 294, 417 slash line. Not the most enticing at first glance, but 6 home runs down the stretch. He's been heating up recently. Kind of surprised by his pop and his bat. Didn't quite expect to get much power out of Edman. But one thing I really like is he is a switch hitter. The last time that I can remember the Dodgers had a switch hitter contributing every day was Yasmani Grandal. If you remember Yasmani catching years ago. But Tommy Edman, with Dave wanting to stick to this lefty righty, I can see some value batting Tommy Edman last at 9th because regardless, Shohei's next. This is to protect Shohei. But with Edman batting 9th, you can pitch lefty against him. He'll have a righty versus lefty for Edman. Otani will get the lefty, and then Mookie's up. But if you just pitch the righty, Edman's better against righties. Then you just get back-to-back lefties hitting, and then Mookie, who has reverse splits. Mookie Betts hits righties better than he does lefties. So I think objectively speaking, the baseball managers, they won't look in, regardless if you have reverse splits, they would still rather Mookie face a righty than a lefty. Like they don't care. It's just in them. So I could see some value Edman 9 hole, but I would expect Edman 7 behind Will Smith.
Speaking of pitchers though, who are we saying rotation?
So I believe Dave has already announced Flaherty will get game 1, which adds up and makes sense with how Yama got to pitch on Saturday. So it will be Flaherty 1. It will be Yamamoto game 2. I think Walker Buehler should pitch game 3. Walker Buehler, I know, has not been the same Walker Buehler that Dodger fans have been used to this season. This has been his worst year as a big league pitcher, without question. And there have been a lot of rocky appearances with Walker this season. But over the past month or so, I've seen Walker just go out and not necessarily, hey, we'll never have the Walker that we once had. Like,
no.
I rewatch. You shouldn't do it. I don't suggest you guys do this because it'll make you sad. But I rewatched that Walker Red Sox start in the World Series, and the pitches he was executing that night, just high 90s fastball, painting corners, great slider, great curveball. We're not going to get those outings out of him anymore. But the one thing I appreciate about Walker is that when things don't go his way, he doesn't pout and complain. My example is Bobby Millen. When things don't go Bobby's way, he will visibly be mad up at the mound, like barking back at the ump, saying that should have been a strike. And Bobby lets missed calls impact him. Like, if a call doesn't go his way, Bobby will start missing even worse than he was beforehand. Like, it just rattles him. Whereas things don't go Walker's way, and he doesn't care. He stays in there. He keeps delivering pitches.
So you
He doesn't
think
get rattled.
Flaherty's 1, Walker's 2, or
Yama 2,
Yama 2, Walker?
Walker 3.
Okay.
4.
Right now it has to be Knack, doesn't it? Because Kirsch is out.
I think it is technically Knack for that 4 game, but I'd say that 4 starts like a semi bullpen game. It's not a bullpen game, but like we're just trying to get through 3 with Landon Knack, or 3 or 4. If Knack can ever get through 5 or 6, big win for us, because he should not be getting through 6 innings against playoff hitters. He shouldn't be. If he is, investigate us MLB, because we brought the spider tack back if that happens. So like I'm okay Knack starting game 4. I'm cool with it. Like in past years, I'm more of a proponent of like a even shorter lineup, like maybe like 3-man. But we can't do that. Like you can't.
No, you're so
rotation.
low, so low on pitchers too.
You can't. You can't do it. Not a possibility. We can stay with the 4, but yeah, I'd expect that. Flaherty, Yama, Walker, Knack.
I mean, yeah, you don't really have any other options, to be fair. Yeah. And Kirsch hopefully comes back, and I mean, outside of that, what like Glasnow's done for the year.
Done.
Yep. Bobby's
bad.
Gavin Stone's done for the year. River done for the year. Gonso's done. May's done.
Out. Yep. So those are quite literally the only options we have, or Justin Robleski, but we just optioned him down before the game yesterday. He's out for the year. TJ, like a lot of pitching injuries, a lot. Brewstar's also on IL. I have no idea if he's coming back.
He said, it says September 26th, Dodgers reinstated Gratterall from the 15-day injured list.
Reinstated?
4 days ago. Reinstated.
Okay. Oh, okay. Never mind.
I guess he's coming back. I don't know when, but he will be. He'll be probably on the he will be on the playoff roster. Just put it that way. I just don't know when he's going to play. Yeah,
but MLB breakdown. We'll have a more official postseason preview for the next episode. But MLB wrap up. Okay. On to college football, big time stuff here, Everett. Georgia, Alabama. Oh my God. Please tell me you were watching this. Please tell me.
Yes, I was there. I was out watching the game, and I literally, when I showed up, it was like 28-0. I was like, all right, game's chalked. I stopped paying attention. It gets to like the third quarter. Georgia started to drive. I was like, game's over. I'm not caring. We get to the fourth quarter, and it's like a 1.5 score game, 2 score game. I'm like, okay, Georgia scores again. I was like, oh, okay. And then everybody, the entire bar that I was at, the entire venue I was at, all crowded around.
Oh, yeah.
Like one spot and watched.
Yeah, so this was I think your mic may have just cut out, Everett. I can't hear you. I have no idea what's going on. So it was the mic. There we go. We're back. We are back, everybody. I'm not sure what you just said about Georgia, Alabama, but I was amazed by this game. There's a lot to go over. Okay, first things first. What I want to start off with, Ryan Williams. Oh my God. What did I just watch? I know everyone's looking at the tip drill, juggle catch, and then the last touchdown play. Both are crazy. Do not get me wrong. I want to start off talking about this one curl route he ran. He catches this curl route, and while catching the ball, like the ball's in his hands, he like his feet are like still maybe slightly in the air. Like he takes a quick look over his shoulder to go see, I believe Malachi Starks behind him, who's going to be like a top 15 pick in the draft, by the way.
Yes.
Turns around, takes a look, sees Malachi Starks, and hits him with 3 moves in the span of
this is what we like to call the shake and bake. We like to call it the shake and bake.
Yeah, so there's a post going viral right now saying Ryan Williams has Kyrie handles out there, and I think that's the best way you can describe it. He is doing Kyrie Irving crossovers on the field. It is absurd. Ryan Williams, the thing about him that just jumps off the page to me is this run after the catch ability, like his yak ability. I'll refer to it for the rest of the episode. But Ryan Williams is a guy where you just put the ball in his hands, and from a defensive perspective, you're holding your breath every time he touches the ball, knowing that he could just house it. And from an OC's perspective, if you need to get a play, if you need to pick up a first down, if you need to get a big play, you're looking right at number 2. No questions asked. You go to Ryan Williams.
So I mean, I'm going to ask you this. Same class as Jeremiah Smith.
Yes.
Grant. 2 years from now, when they're going out for the NFL draft, who are you drafting first?
This is the debate that's going to be asked all week, and we may just be seeing this debate every week moving forward with these two guys, how electric they are. But if I were to compare them to, I'd say it's a difference between yak ability and possession catch wide receivers. And I'd say it's somewhat similar to Marv versus Malik Neighbors. However, it isn't, because both Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith are head and shoulders better than what Marvin Neighbors were when they were true freshmen. So I'd compare him to that in the sense of the receiver type, but no, they are not like Marvin Neighbors. Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith as true freshmen, much better than what Marvin Neighbors were as true freshmen. So got to get that out of the way too. But it's a yak ability versus possession catch. Marv and Jeremiah are kind of these more possession catch, big body guys, whereas Ryan Williams and Neighbors are more of the lighter frame, yak ability, oh, watch out when he has the ball in his hands type of receivers. And for me, as an Ohio State fan, I think you'd rather go with the yak ability. I'm looking at it from an NFL perspective, but I think you go towards that yak ability more than anything.
Now, it's if you play the wide receiver as a yak receiver, not as a jump ball specialist, then you get into some questions.
No, usage is obviously very important. Like, you have to use these guys how they're meant to be used, of course. But like those Ryan Williams moves, those moves that he can make, like you can't coach those. Like you can either physically do them like Ryan Williams can, or you can't. Like
I can't.
Like we can never dream of doing that Ryan Williams does.
No.
This is another thing I want to point. Ryan Williams, according to online, like his recruiting profile, his last year of high school when he was a junior, remember he's 17. He should be a senior in high school. Remember that. He's listed as like 6'1", 165. And I think from seeing that game, Ryan Williams, he did look very skinny.
Yeah.
And the way I look at it is like, I think he needs to stay at that size, because like if he was 190 pounds, I don't think he could do the moves he was doing if he weighed more.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just saying, if I was able to do the moves Ryan Williams is, I would be the most electric player to ever touch intramural sports at Tulane.
Oh my God. You would be lighting people up. Oh my God. But like,
I might be like, they would have a trophy in my name by the end of my career.
But I would say though, I think Ryan Williams is the more enticing prospect, because in terms of route running, catching, I don't know, your basic receiver type skills. Like I believe Ryan Williams, is easier for him to develop those than Jeremiah Smith is to just learn juke moves, if that makes sense.
No, yeah. Yes.
And hey, I will say Jeremiah Smith had one of the most impressive drives I've ever seen in my life, Everett. Okay. He made 2 one-handed catches on the same drive.
No, yesterday, I will just say, or Saturday, I guess this past weekend, fantastic day for fans of this class from this past year. Like everybody's getting notoriety. True freshmen across the board.
Yes. I mean, also we haven't even brought up yet, Alabama true freshman corner Xavier Brown out of Mater Dei, California. He had the game-sealing interception to win it. Another true freshman. Like
Just
Alabama,
a really bad throw by Carson Beck, but yeah,
not the greatest. But Alabama, like they are so young, and that's what's so scary because you can expect
100%. Yeah, 100%.
You can expect a team starting so many true freshmen to improve more than a team like Georgia with some older guys, even though Georgia has a ton of freshmen as well. Like KJ Bolden and Ellis Robinson are true freshmen starting for Georgia. Don't get me wrong. But that's what makes Alabama and Georgia so terrifying, is because they have a combination of veterans, of upperclassmen who are also 5 stars in their own right.
Now,
with brand new 5 stars.
Grant, you know what? Just speaking about Bama, about true freshmen and everything, I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at On3's Heisman poll in quotations for this week. All right. Just came out 6 hours ago. I'm going to read this list to you. I want you to compare, give your opinion, and just
I have a very strong opinion on who should be the front runner of the Heisman. But
I will say this year, there's an incredible, like, there's a lot. There's a
this is another thing I'd say.
It's a good year for a Heisman right now.
I would say an unintended consequence of the 12-team playoff is that it has opened the Heisman field. I think moving forward, I hope this isn't true because this shouldn't be how it's worked. Heisman is the best player in the country. It's not MVP in the NFL, which is just given to the best player on the best team. No, I know. That's the problem, though. We view it as MVP. But because we do, I think moving forward, to be a Heisman finalist, you'll need to be in the playoff.
Well, you know what? You know what? I say that we view it as MVP, but I think that's what fans view it of, because to be fair, over the past couple of seasons, Jaden Daniels wins it, wasn't in the playoffs. Like that was a statistical thing. Kayla Williams won it. That was more of a statistical thing, not like a playoff thing. Like, so I think we view it more as an MVP, but I think actual voters are a little bit better about that than we are.
Yeah, I will say the one thing, last year and the year before, LSU and USC would have been in the 12-team playoff.
Yeah, but even
I just, like, your team needs to be good enough, like relevant.
I don't know if LSU would have been.
Yeah, they would have 9-3. Yeah, they
wasn't it would have been, but sure. Oregon would have had one, and then
no, they would have 100% been in last year. But like,
okay, all right. Well, let me just.
That's going to be a thing moving forward, and yeah, let me hear this though.
I will say though, typically speaking, like I think in any year, the Heisman winner probably would have been on a team that would have made the playoffs if it was 12 teams.
Yeah, yes,
that's just all. Yeah. Like, so I don't even think that's like. It's not like, oh my God, like it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, if anything, that point I just made is specifically for one running back out in Boise, Idaho, who's the best in the country. So that's why I had to bring that up.
Travis Hunter, I'm going
1. Okay,
yeah, you won 1 to 10. Travis Hunter, Ashton Genty, Jalen Milrow, Cam Ward, Ryan Williams, Nico. I'm not even gonna fucking try.
Yeah.
Khalil Mullings. Garrett Nussmeier,
Khalil Mullings. Mullings.
That's what I said, isn't it?
No, you're right. I'm disappointed in sports books.
Garrett Nussmeier, Jeremiah Smith, and Curtis Rourke. So disregard after 6. Disregard everything.
Okay, in my opinion,
Indiana is nice this year. I mean, hey, Indiana is nice. So
we'll get to them in a second, but Everett, I think there's a very strong chance that Indiana will be 10-0 leading to their matchup with the Ohio State Buckeyes. I think there's a solid chance. I'm not saying 15? I'm not saying it's in writing, it's locked. I'm not saying bet on it, but Indiana, I believe, will be favorited in every single game moving forward this year other than Ohio State. Like, they got very lucky. They don't play Oregon. They don't play USC. They don't play Penn State. Like, they got a pretty great draw just getting Ohio State. So Indiana could make some noise. I'm not sleeping on them. Cignetti over from JMU. Like, he has the Hoosiers rolling. I got to give credit where credit's due. But yeah, with that Heisman list, in my opinion, I personally believe Travis Hunter is the best player in the country. And if the Heisman was awarded off of best player, yeah, it should be Travis Hunter. Just his game against UCF. Also, just real quick, Colorado boat racing UCF as 2 touchdown underdogs. Got to tip the cap, Dion. Got to tip the cap to Colorado. Got to do it. And like, I have no idea. I'm checking. Like, Colorado is wow. I don't think Colorado's ranked right now. I kind of expected them to be after that. 4-1.
Here's my thing. It kind of just looking. I mean, in my opinion, it's between Travis Hunter and Ashton Jeanty right now, like hands down.
Yeah, I think it should be them too. But realistically, Milroe's number 1 right now.
By quarterback standard, yeah. But I mean, by actual play standard, it's not even close. It's Jeanty and Hunter.
I will say this,
but
Milroe.
I'm not dogging him. I'm not dogging him. I'm just saying that this is such a good year for Heisman contenders that Milroe is not 1 or 2 right now.
Yeah, this is another last little thing I want to say about Georgia Bama specifically. Both of these run defenses were very, very good. Okay.
Well, let's stay on the Heisman. We're not done with the Heisman.
Okay.
But my one thing, like, look, what Ashton Jeanty is doing right now, he's on pace to break Barry Sanders' rushing record. All right. You know how hard that is to do? He is on pace currently to break Barry Sanders' rushing record. Okay. That's like 2,700 yards rushing in a season. The problem is you're going up against Travis Hunter, who's a player who plays 2 sides of the ball. And it's like the SpongeBob meme where he's staring at 2 different sides of the book. Like, in reality, both of them, they should be able to cut the Heisman in half and both of them get to half.
Yeah, this may be a year where 2 Heismans may be necessary.
Like, it's like the old NCAA cover with Robert Griffin III and Barry Sanders, right?
Yes.
Was that it? That's what this should be. That's really what this should be. And it's just not because it's not even like it's gimmicky what Travis Hunter is doing. Like, he's doing really well on both sides of the ball. And it's just like by a pure standard, he's having a very good, great season by a cornerback and by a wide receiver standard, and that's obviously put together. But what Ashton Jeanty is doing might never ever be touched again if he breaks Barry Sanders right.
I'm looking up Jeanty's numbers right now, Everett. Okay, and
he's averaging a first down every carry.
Through 4 games, Ashton Jeanty, he has carried the ball 82 times this year for 845 yards. He averages 10.3 yards per carry. Also on 82 carries, he already has 13 rushing touchdowns. He scores a touchdown nearly a 1/6 of the time he touches the ball. Now, this is another thing, just for hey, I'll be honest, I'm an Ohio State fan. I'm a bit of a big time bias type of college football supporter. For anyone who's in my boat and also kind of doubts the G5 teams, doesn't really consider them much competition. To anyone who thinks that, what if I told you that Nick Saban was contacting Boise State trying to get Jeanty to enter the transfer portal, and Jeanty refused?
I just also want to say,
so it's not just us realizing he's great. Other coaches knew.
He put up 259 yards versus Washington State. Okay, Washington State, I get it. Not, it's fine. He put up 192 versus Oregon, Grant. That's the best team that they play all season. The rest of the way, they have Utah State, Hawaii, UNLV. Okay, they're ranked, but still, San Diego State, Nevada, San Jose, Wyoming, and Oregon State. There is a very, very real chance that he legitimately breaks Barry Sanders' record. Like,
there's it's more likely than not.
If he keeps pace right now, this is 4 games. So it's not like, he did 1 or 2 games and fell off.
He's averaging over 200 yards per game, folks. If he just plays
4 games through.
Like, let's say this. Let's say Boise runs the table and just makes it to the Mountain West Championship game. We don't even need to assume they win or not. Let's just say he gets through those 13 games and he's at his current rate. He'll be at 2,600 yards. He will be at 40 rushing touchdowns. Yes, 40 rushing touchdowns. Wow.
I'm sorry, Travis Hunter. It doesn't matter what if that happens. There should not be a single vote. If there's anybody who votes for somebody other than Genty or maybe Travis Hunter, they should be fired. But there should not be a vote for anybody other than Genty.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the average Heisman voter probably only watches one college football game per week, and it's just the nationally ranked game. So, like, I know at least 60% of Heisman voters only watch Alabama.
They would have at least seen, hopefully, him put up 192 on Oregon.
There's no way the Heisman voters would have saw that. No way. 0% chance.
Well, it was one of the late games on that. Well, no, that was the notice game. They're like, hey,
well, they're asleep for the Pac-12 After Dark.
This was. Oh, hey, Boise State is currently leading Oregon, and they ended up losing by 3. That would be the reason why they'd be like, what the fuck's going on here? Oregon's 7.
Well, hey, we would expect them to watch it though, but I know they didn't. I know they didn't. I know many of those AP poll voters have not watched it because Oklahoma State's still ranked. That's how I know they haven't been watching much football. So that's all I need to know, that they aren't keeping up to date. But objectively speaking, Genty and Travis Hunter are the 2 best players this year in terms of what they're doing. Also, quick, I want to say this about Travis Hunter. For me, I personally can't get over the fact that he doesn't sit ever. He is on the field for every offensive and defensive snap. Literally every single snap. I think he's averaging 130 per game this year, 130 snaps per game. That should not be physically possible.
I will be honest. If I was a NFL GM right now,
what? Yeah, I'm curious.
Love the fact that he could play 2 ways of the ball. Love that fact.
We know that he would play, right? Tell me it.
Yeah, probably gonna play corner. But
yeah, he's playing corner. Other than Will Johnson, he is firmly the second best corner.
My issue is gonna be the same kind of thing we've talked about with running backs being like, hey, look how many snaps they've taken, how many runs they've had going up to the point they're in the NFL.
Oh, no. The injury concerns are real.
Even if Travis Hunter doesn't get injured at all, I'm going to be like, dude, you've ran over 1,000 plays and you're 1,000.
And remember, he didn't get through all last. He got hurt after week 2.
Yeah. Well, that was because Colorado actually fucking murdered him, but Colorado State.
That actually is true. They did. They did headhunt.
They did try and murder him. They did try and murder him, but I would be weary about the amount of use that his body is going through, because it's cool. It is amazing that you can do that. And he did it in high school too. Great.
Well, I'd say another thing is a ton of guys go both ways in high school, but it's high school football.
Yeah, it is concerning to me when you're playing at this level and playing so much work. He doesn't seem exhausted, and hopefully he's fine. But as a scout or somebody, I'd be like, okay, great. But I am a little bit concerned about longevity, because he could do it. Maybe he could be great for 3 years in the NFL. But after that,
I don't think the NFL should even try it.
I'm even saying if he decided to play one side, I'd be like, okay, great. But his ACL has been under this much stress for the last 4 years.
Well, I'm not necessarily for me, the running back thing. It's just especially I'm thinking of a Wisconsin run, a Jonathan Taylor who carried the ball maybe 700 times at Wisconsin.
Look, he got hurt again this week.
But a guy like that, the way I'm so concerned is that on an average play in the Big Ten, Jonathan Taylor got hit maybe 4 times. He doesn't go down easily. A lot of bodies are going to be there to hit him.
All right. You know what? Why don't we move on to the NFL here? Because I do have some breaking news. And I mean, we're talking about Jonathan Taylor anyways, so it's kind of a good spot to move. Grant, I have some CMC, some Christian McCaffrey news here. I have no idea if you saw this or not.
No, I saw it.
Yeah, so Christian McCaffrey
career done.
I'm going to be honest. Achilles tendonitis in not
one. Well, double Achilles.
Yeah, I was getting there. I was in not one, but both of his legs. Yeah. The Madden curse just yeah, no, it saw what they did to
Now,
To
help me
Antonio
out
Brown
here. Help me
and
out here because I think I don't know if I have this correct, but I remember early preseason, maybe even back in training camp, early rumblings that McCaffrey was like suddenly out of practice. Like it wasn't week one of
I
training camp. It was like just kind of
vaguely remember that.
popped up, but I remember the reports were something along the lines of like, limited, but people were like, hey, this is pretty normal for Kyle Shanahan. Like
Yeah, it's a veteran
nothing
rest
crazy.
day kind of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't really look into it. And I want to say it was maybe the Friday before the
I will
49ers
just say
opener that they were like,
I'm
he will be out.
yeah, well no, that was the thing. That was not even I don't even know what it was. It was Jordan Mason was like, yeah, I've known Jordan Mason said he knew since Friday and they ruled him out game time.
That was it. Okay, that was it. That was it.
But
Uh
I'm gonna be honest, seeing that this is what it actually is, because I'm assuming they've known this for a while, why CMC didn't go to one of these specialists like he did in Germany last month, if not 2 months ago, is bizarre. That's
yeah.
why I don't get like I don't understand what is going on over in San Francisco. Like you would think that they would be, we I don't at this point you're like I don't care that Cat's gonna be out of the bag after week one either way. Like clearly there's gonna be some issue. So I don't really know
And I believe the
why.
Niners lost week one anyway. So all that
No, they won,
hide,
didn't they?
I think they lost. They're 2-2 right now. So
Well, they lost to the Vikings.
I don't know where the regardless, like this McCaffrey injuries
No, they
kind
beat the
of
Jets. They lost to the Rams and the Vikings. They beat
so
the
that
Jets week one.
so yeah, okay. If they had lost that Jets week one, I was like, yeah, so then it really didn't mean shit hiding McCaffrey because you didn't even win that game. But this is one thing I'll say. Like Jordan Mason this year has still done a very good job. I believe he had like 120 yesterday on like 20 carries. Jordan Mason's still a very, very, very good running back. And like I'm not in terms of the running game, outside zone, Kyle Shanahan, 49ers run scheme, I'm not thinking there will be much of a drop off, but the one thing you can't replace McCaffrey is on those passing plays, his pass catching
Hey, you
ability.
can do it in the aggregate. Let's get Austin Eckler back in there.
Yeah, we can try to Moneyball aggregate it, but you can't replace McCaffrey, what he can do in the pass game and how effective
No.
he is there. Uh, and like for me, when I just think of running backs in the NFL, like why I'd be
You
willing to
know
pay
who
McCaffrey is
is
because of
available
that.
though? You know who is available?
Who?
Jet. Jerick McKinnon is available. Send him back. Send him back.
Jet, I'm still sorry for when I cursed you your first year in
Who was
San
your fifth round pick
Francisco.
this year? Who was it? That's what I need to know.
I think it might be if it was Sam Laporta, that makes way too much sense. I need to confirm
Yeah, you need
because
to. I need you.
Laporta's
We
been
need
the
to check. We need
worst
to
player
check
on
this
my
right now.
team.
We need to check it right now. And he was hurt too. He got hurt too.
It was Sam Laporta.
Curse continues. The curse continues. Yeah, he got hurt. He got hurt too for a little bit.
It's also
Um,
just shitty.
yeah, but I mean, it's
I'm
just
the reason tight ends don't exist in fantasy this year.
well, no, Mark Andrews just sucks, but unrelated.
But Laporta was tight end one going into the
He
year over
was.
Andrews.
He was.
I'm the
Who's
reason.
tight end one right now?
It might be Komet after that game the other week when he had like
Yeah, dude,
17
tight end's been
catches.
so ass.
That's how bad the position has been, that it might be Cole Komet.
Yeah, I don't really know who else. Yeah,
I have no idea who would be the top
zero
tight
clue.
end.
Janu, just
Maybe
consistency.
I have no. It
Um,
might be Jasicki. I think he has 2 touchdowns already. Oh no, he
it might,
dropped one. I don't know.
might be. I
Regardless,
know.
who cares?
Yeah, but I mean CMC like he is not playing this year. Let's put it at
No,
least there. He's not playing this year. We will see. I mean, ACL.
I'm surprised why Elatrosh hasn't been called up yet.
Having Achilles tendonitis is bad enough, but having it in both, you can't walk. Like you can't walk. Like I mean, I don't know how that happens.
Me neither.
Maybe he just wanted to extend his honeymoon or something. I don't know. Like,
hey,
look,
I got no idea.
So look. There's one.
But I'd say with the Niners, ooh, shit. Like I'm also, hey, as a guy's got, I've got Ayuk, you got Ayuk. We can talk about Ayuk a little bit. You know, a big thing. I'm a strong proponent in the NFL. You need multiple weapons on the field. You can't have just one, or else you can phase that one weapon out of the game.
Unless it's Justin Jefferson.
No, yeah. Like, but or also Tyreek. With it sounds crazy, but like Tyreek's gotten phased out recently, despite.
Well, that's because their quarterback sucks. Chain.
Yeah, that is true.
That's the fact.
You're right. But I would say like I'm a big proponent of offenses with multiple weapons, and that adding weapons helps the weapons that are already there. Like it's real quick, like Jordan coming back and with Hawk about to come back, like now it's like, all right, we're still bracketing Justin because we can't let him get 200. But by bracketing Justin, you now have a choice. Do we want to double bracket Jordan or Hawk, or let him run rampant? You have your choice now. And I would say more often than not, Jordan probably won't be getting that double team, hardly if ever. If you do double bracket Jordan and Justin, well, then you throw the ball to Aaron Jones. So it's like there's a lot of factors involved here.
Yeah, I mean, so here's my question.
But back to the main team, holy shit.
Are you saying, obviously with Debo being injured, not injured, but are you saying that CMC not being there is why Brandon Ayuk sucks?
No, it's more so Debo.
I would get that.
And it's more so Debo and the Kittle, but the McCaffrey being out allows you to confidently bracket Ayuk every single play with zero concern in the run game, how it impacts that. Because there is no other option. Sure, let Juwan Jennings. Okay, the Rams let Juwan Jennings go for 180 yards and 3 touchdowns, and they still won the football game. So you can let Jennings, whatever, dog, go for it, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Brandon Ayuk is gonna need Debo back to succeed, and also,
well, Debo was back last week. You know that, right? Debo played last week.
I did not know that. I'll be honest, I did not know that. I would say my other thing about Debo though is that like, what made Debo so great was that first year, 2021, the Super Gremlin year, when he was just playing running back for them. Like Debo is. I've never seen a wide receiver run inside zone, take hits from nose guards, and just. All right, let's run it again, coach. Like I've never seen a wide receiver willingly sign up to run inside zone. He must be a lunatic. Like he must be crazy, a psychopath in the head to sign up for that shit. But it's like we were talking about this a lot last year. Like in terms of being a wide receiver passing game, like Brandon Ayuk is the better receiver. Like Brandon Ayuk's the guy that can go run a 15-yard dig, make it look pretty.
Oh, no, 100%. It just also doesn't help when you were not available for all of fall camp. And then also
it does not help.
Come back, you start bitching about having to change your, the color of your shorts. So it doesn't help.
Yeah, no, he's prima donna, quite literally. I don't think Kyle Shanahan is very happy with that signing right now, if he could look back at it. But like this 49ers team without McCaffrey, I'm not too confident in them unless Debo decides to start running inside zone again.
That's gonna be. It's just
which he's not.
Yeah, there's no way.
Jordan Mason's great too. Like
he's also more of a power back. Like they need to get.
No, yeah, and the way the Niners play,
I don't know if Elijah Mitchell's been if he's even active.
He may also be out for the year. He was IR to start the year. So,
but like they need to get some kind of switch up in there if it's signing somebody or what's going on. Like there needs to be a change of pace back there who hopefully would be able to catch, which is why I would jokingly drop Jerick McKinnon earlier because that's what Jerick McKinnon does.
Like it could work. Jet back.
Yeah. But all right, before I know we're going to talk about the Vikings a little bit. I know I need to do that. But we talked about this earlier, Grant, and I, I want to bring it on the podcast, if you don't mind, gotta tickle the fancies, of our Colts fans over. So, um, it has come to my attention that Shane Steichen's offense works very marginally better when they have a quarterback that is not Anthony Richardson back there, preferably a pocket passer. All right. And this to me, the first thing that came into my mind when you and I were talking about this was, and it's probably because it also recently came up, but was RG3, Kirk Cousins catastrophe up in Washington that first year. Obviously, there's a whole issue, but Shanahan's wanted to trade RG3 and keep Kirk, and the other half wanted to keep RG3, right? And obviously RG3 was thought to be like, this of that generation, to be the best athlete, to be the best, that kind of stuff, right?
For a quarterback, he was like the most athletic quarterback you could have ever thought of at the time. Like the dude ran like a 4.
Literally, think of what people were saying about Caleb. If you weren't paying attention,
RG3 is a better athlete than Caleb.
But I'm saying, like, think about what the hype for Caleb was 2 years ago, before he even came out, right, for the draft. So it would have been a like Cotton Bowl year, right? Think about the hype that year.
Okay.
That was the hype RG3 was getting coming into the draft. But more. He was getting more hype than that.
Mm-hmm. And he also won Rookie of the Year that first year over Luck, correct?
He
I think he did, because they went to the playoffs that year.
Yeah, that was the year he destroyed the Vikings with that really long run. Yeah, I said it. But I legit, this situation is really making me think about that. And obviously, it's not sustainable to have Joe Flacco back there. Like, he's a fossil. Gardner Minshew is not a sustainable starting quarterback. But if you had a guy like who might be a free agent next year, like a Sam Darnold back there as your starting quarterback, I think that offense might run a lot better than what we're seeing with Anthony Richardson. And the team seems to play better when Anthony Richardson is not the starting quarterback.
Yeah, so I'm just taking a quick gander.
I know that it's probably not going to happen, but if it was me, I'd be taking a really hard look at trying to shell out Anthony Richardson just because I think his value would be high to other teams.
Yeah, no, like I'll say this real quick. I think there's a lot of comparisons we could draw here, but first, like, with the way the NFL is playing this year, with this too high safety revolution, and defenses are now daring you to run the ball, offensive coordinators are now sitting there like, all right, I know he's daring me to run, but like, screw it, I still want to pass. Like, I'm the passing god. Like, we're gonna throw. And like, if these OCs are gonna stay stubborn, and they're gonna be throwing in situations where the defense is lined up in a good pass coverage, like, you do want a vet guy who has spent, I don't know, Joe Flacco spent, I don't know, the last 19 years of his life studying NFL defenses. That's the guy you'd rather have running your offense. If you do want to pass as much as OCs do want to now, you'd rather have that older guy who just will play mistake-free football. I know, obviously, they'll still make mistakes, but risk-averse football. Take your yards that they give you. Don't force the ball into tight windows you don't need to. Like, that's kind of how these offenses can operate the most smoothly.
The better offense
right now,
this year happens to be that way. Yes. The only difference that I would say is last year when Anthony Richardson was also out, the offense ran better with Gardner Minshew. And it's the same way this year. Obviously, Bryce Young, I mean, the whole team might just not get around that guy. And I feel so bad for Bryce. And he also might just suck, which also means I feel so bad for Bryce. But with Andy Dalton there,
for Bryce, if he just sucks, I still feel bad.
But with Andy Dalton there, obviously that goes more to your point about this year, having a veteran, too high safety, all just that kind of stuff. A guy
who will find the open guy over the middle.
I think that it's a little bit different because of the fact that last year with a Gardner Minshew, the Colts offense looked so much better than it did with Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson, like, you're trying to use him kind of like Cam Newton, but he's got the body type, the size, the running, whatever. But he can't, like, he either, you were joking about that.
Yeah,
He
at
either
least
makes
Cam can sit back there.
yeah, he either makes the greatest throw you have seen in your entire life, or he can't hit the broadside of a ball.
Yep.
So I just think that he's one of the guys. One, he's like 21 right now. He should be sitting the rest of the season. Even if he comes back, Joe Flacco should start. He should be sitting and learning. He should be trying to build a throw. But also, if I'm the Colts, I think that long term, that team and Shane Steichen and that offense will operate better with a pure pocket passer there, which is why I was saying next year when you come into free agency, Sam Darnold, one of the things we were talking about Kevin O'Connell being able to be like, he's a quarterback guru, right? He gets the team to work that way. Shane Steichen is also kind of one of those guys where he can.
I've been very impressed with Steichen.
You know, I'm impressed with him. And I think that he'd be able to get something out of Darnold the same way, not to the level of KOC, because KOC is KOC, but in the same regard. And I think that would be much better than what Anthony Richardson's doing right now. So if it was me, I think Bryce Young's on the table, but I legitimately would contemplate trading Anthony Richardson right now. And I would be okay with
I'm not really against it either. I'd say another big thing I thought, like with, and this is going back to last season, like before Taylor signed his contract back to Indy, like a big reason why I thought the Colts were like a lock to keep Taylor was just AR-15 is this Cam Newton type quarterback you're talking about, the power guy. Like you can run power, QB power with him on 3rd and 1, like almost like it's like JT Barrett offense. Like having him in your run game with this Colts O-line, and I'm looking up the numbers right now. I believe at worst Colts, I'd expect them to be like 5th in the NFL. Let me just make sure I get this right. Indianapolis, they rank 3rd in pass block win rate and 1st in run block win rate. So the Colts have the best O-line in the NFL. And with all that, those factors, Taylor, AR being a running guy, I was like, yeah, this rushing offense is going to be disgusting, absolutely gross. And I thought, maybe if you get rid of AR-15, well, now teams can load the box on Jonathan Taylor and shut him down. Jonathan Taylor was nice yesterday when Flacco went in the game. Jonathan Taylor, yeah, he did end up getting hurt. That's just Jonathan Taylor, though. He's going to get hurt every week. But like, they can still run very effectively without AR-15. They have the best O-line in the NFL. They have Jonathan Taylor. If anything, by adding Joe Flacco back there, it improves the run game because you now have to respect the pass, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, we were kind of talking about that. I don't know which team we were thinking about that a little bit.
Panthers.
Yeah,
by adding Andy Dalton, they can now run the football.
Because I was talking to you, and it made sense after you like just laid it out for me because I wasn't processing it. But the fact that they now have to respect the Panthers, the other teams have to respect Andy Dalton's ability to be able to piece apart those defenses and throw, means they can't just load the box, which is why with a single change at quarterback, not only the passing game, but the run game also improved to a significant point.
Yeah, like all these things are involved. Like the run game relies on the pass game and vice versa. Like they're all connected. All these factors are a part of it. And, I can slightly go back to college football for a second. That's why I'm so pissed off at USC, because you knew Michigan couldn't pass and you chose to defend them like they could.
Hey, I mean, Navy and Army this year too. Option offense, I guess, is the new cover 2. New thing in I guess or just too high in general. Whatever. New thing in the NFL. Option, I guess, is the new thing in college football. But anyways.
But it's like with an Andy Dalton or like with Bryce Young, you can stack the box if they're in a run formation. And guess what? You can assume that Bryce Young won't hit the check down guy. Like you can bet on that.
And even then, I'm going to be honest, if it's Anthony Richardson there with Jonathan Taylor, I might be even more likely to stack the box.
No, you're 100% stacking.
Because Anthony Richardson can't fucking throw. And even if he runs, all right, I got 6 dudes there. Like,
yeah, but like also it's just with AR-15 being a runner, that's another guy that they can account for just run numbers wise. Like you have to at minimum have 7 in the box. Yeah. For any 11, 12, any one tight end plus set. If they line up in 11 in a passing set, you still might need to go 7 in the box because AR accounts for that last guy.
Okay, Grant. Let's wrap up here. I mean, I don't know if you got any other teams specifically you want to talk about. Obviously, we need to get to the Vikings.
We can get on. We can get on.
Okay, so first of all,
I do want to say Jaden Daniels is, oh my God,
looks fantastic.
Oh my God, but yeah, Vikings
looks fantastic. But that's also, I will say this, talking about I think we're talking about the 2 high safeties.
Yeah, going back once again.
I think about the 2 high safeties and that being one of the reasons why everything's. I think that's probably why rookie quarterbacks were really not doing too hot to start the year. Obviously, Bo Nix sucks, right? But the other rookie quarterbacks not doing too hot. That was one of them. But I do think that Jaden Daniels, we talked about going in the draft, we talked about going in the season, but being the experienced quarterback, the same way that I think Michael Penix would probably have a similar success right now.
Bro, if Michael Penix was just on my team.
But I think, dude, just, you know what? Colts, fuck it. Send Anthony Richardson to the Falcons. Get Michael Penix's ass in there. Let's do that. Yeah. Let's just do that. Everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. All right? Let's do that.
I'm so sad Michael Penix just doesn't get to play right now. He was so
Let's do that. But I think that the experience Jaden Daniels has is probably the reason why he looks so good right now versus the defense compared to the other rookie quarterbacks. But he looks like a bona fide starter. He looks much better than a lot of starting other like veterans right now. But thinking about the Vikings, Grant. First of all, I'm precedenting all of this. Absolute rat poison. Absolute rat poison. All right. So, absolute rat poison. Just, I got to put a disclaimer out there. So, therefore, it doesn't actually affect my team when I say these things.
Fair.
But
understandable.
Grant, talked about record wise a little bit last week with Kevin O'Connell. After this game, Kevin O'Connell has won 72.4% of his games as a head coach when his starting quarterback plays. He has a record of 21-8 when his starting quarterback is playing. That win percentage alone would be 3rd all time in the Super Bowl era if it keeps, and that would be only behind John Madden at 76% and Vince Lombardi at 73.8%. All time. But look, with the Vikings, a lot of stuff going on. All right. I first would like to say to everybody listening out there, the sole reason the Packers got back in that game was one, because Jalen Naylor decided to try and return a punt that he couldn't see because it was in the sun and then catch it above his head, which required him to jump. Don't know why we're doing that. Doesn't make sense. You're on the 15-yard line. Let it go behind you. All right. It's going to get a touchback. Instead, they got a touchdown. Not the right kind of touch. All right. But then the refs started trying to save the Packers season, which is not abnormal for them. But first thing, I'm going to say at this point, my MVP, Grant, through 4 games, MVP, Will Reichard, the kicker. Sam Darnold deserves all his flowers, but he has yet, to this point, missed a kick or a field goal. Extra point or field goal. Hasn't missed anything.
Okay, real quick, I may want to take a quick outlook, just take this to the whole NFL real quick. I think I have this correct, but Everett, do you know the 2 players in the NFL who have missed 50-plus yarders this year?
Who have missed 50-plus yarders?
Who have missed a 50-plus yarder this year.
Justin Tucker.
That is one, ironically.
Brandon Aubrey?
Brandon Aubrey's the other. The 2 best kickers.
I want to give myself a round of applause for getting that.
Like one thing that I've kind of realized this year, especially coming from college, like, bro, who are these kickers? They don't miss. Dicker missed a 50-plus yarder.
The Packers kicker missed.
Well, Dicker's also known as like one of the best. But the kickers are crazy right now, like how automatic they are.
All-time great season, which is ironic that the 2 kickers that historically have been great from 15-60 are not doing well.
No, exactly. That's why it's like, what the hell is going on?
But yeah, no, I want to give our kicker our flowers because to this point, we typically never have the opportunity to do that. So I want to show some special teams love. All right.
Okay.
But look, I am concerned. I was talking to you about this earlier. I'm concerned over whether or not Brian Flores' defense has been exposed, because to this point, like there is a moment where, like I told you this, we had all 11 players on the line and blitzed 4 of them or sent 4 of them. All right. So everybody backed off. and it worked. It worked. And there's after that, there's a on the broadcast, LaFleur was sitting down on a bench just reviewing film. So I know he was just watching the fucking defense the whole time, just trying to figure out what was going on. And the fact that they came back and still put up 22 makes me a little concerned for the defense and if Brian Flores might have been figured out, because if he's figured out, then maybe actually, you know what? Never mind. Nathaniel Hackett's not putting that shit together. But the Lions, Ben Johnson might put it together. Ben Johnson might put it together.
Yeah, the Jets have struggled against good defenses so far. So
yeah, Sean McVay definitely will put it together in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks. But that's my first concern. But it's through 4 weeks, and this is the way that the offense has been rolling. And because of that, like we had the Josh Dobbs hype last year, and we were like, oh, this is great. And it lasted 2 weeks, and then it just straight off a cliff and went, to the bottom of the ocean. But because we've had 4 games of this, I think that it's sustainable. At this point, the thing in science is always, when you're trying something, try it 3 times to know if it's for sure or not. The Vikings have tried it 4, and every single time, it continues to prove itself right. So I think that the offense in Darnold is sustainable, not to mention Hawkinson's coming back. But Grant,
yeah, I feel like also just if Flores is going very disguise heavy, lot of disguised fronts that he presents versus what he actually calls. I'm going to be like,
I don't know how much of the Vikings game you got to watch, but
I turn it off relatively quickly.
I have never seen the defensive formations or play calls that I have seen this year. Like I've seen a lot of different defenses. I've seen, but like what Brian Flores is doing right now, I have not seen in a live NFL game before. I have not seen that before.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to look into it a little more, but like I feel just by nature, just disguise coverages. If like who knows, maybe he's installing brand new ones every week. I have no idea. I'll have to watch.
I mean, like I told you before,
like down the line, for now, you're gonna have some fun. There's not much scouting on you.
That is kind of why I'm concerned that LaFleur was starting to get things to work, because before it hadn't gotten too much stuff to work, you'd be like, okay, well, LaFleur is doing this. And I know Brian Flores is going to go in there and be like, all right, well, let's.
Yeah, you'll have a new game plan.
But like I told you before, and like I told all you guys before, the entire offseason, Brian Flores was teaching everybody to play every single position on the defense. You had linebackers playing safety, you had defensive linemen playing cornerback. Like we're figuring
Dallas Turner one-on-one with Justin Jefferson today.
I'm going to be dead ass. I think it was week 2. I think it was versus the 49ers. They did put Dallas Turner on an island, and he had like some of the cleanest coverage. Debo still caught the ball, but he was like glue on Debo Samuel over the middle. So it has already happened. It's already happened.
I hope we don't do that too much, because last time it's not going to be a standard guru doing it. For the very first play of the Chargers seasons last year, we had Khalil Mack one-on-one with Tyreek Hill. I don't know if I called
Brandon. I think he lost his guru title by that point.
First snap of the season, you have Khalil Mack. Like, it's the first snap of the season. You thinking about what play you're going to run first play for a while, and Khalil Mack on Tyreek one-on-one's what you came up with. That's what you spent all summer working on?
Yeah, that's what the game plan for. That was the script. Okay, well, Grant, you know what? I want to give you an opportunity. I want to give you the opportunity of looking through the rest of the Vikings schedule. First thing that I will say, and obviously we'll get into it more in the next episode, but we mentioned before, it's Rodgers available. It's the Rodgers game for the Vikings. Rodgers game, right? It's the Sam Darnold revenge game. That's what this really is. Screw the Aaron Rodgers side of things.
Yeah, I honestly don't even know if there's too many angles with, like old NFC North rivalry with Aaron.
It's a Sammy D revenge game. That's really what it is. Because I'm sure he's played the Jets before, but not in this. I don't know. I'm assuming, but like not in this. Not on a team that he's actually.
Yeah, where he's starting and it is his team this year.
But yeah, I want you to look through the rest of the Vikings schedule here.
All right, let's read the shit out of this Vikings schedule. Okay. Now, what you just told me will be factored in. I'm thinking down the stretch, like what could maybe some of these guys pick up some stuff or whatnot.
By the way, Hawkinson will
when
be
does he come back? Yeah.
So we have a bye week after the Jets, I'm pretty
After
sure.
that Lions 20th,
I think he
October
will be
20th,
back. He's going to either be back on
for a
Lions week
Lions revenge game.
or Rams week. If he's, I think he might be back on Lions game.
Okay, so let's say he's back for Lions revenge game. Let's say. Um. Okay, let's see. This first Lions game, you guys get them at home, 10 a.m. coming off of a bye.
So you're giving the Jets.
I'm gonna.
The Jets game is already scratched off. Vikings won that one.
Oh
Just
yeah,
we
no,
got to
yeah,
start there.
no, yeah. You're yeah.
You just
I'm
disregard.
picking you to win that. I mean, bro,
Yeah.
the Jets offense and defense both look.
Yeah, they lost to the Broncos. So
Yeah, I mean,
the Broncos really are in Nathaniel Hackett's head.
The Jets, other receivers, like the Jets are the perfect example of why only having one weapon in the pass game limits you. Like you are going to bracket Garrett the entire game. Wherever Garrett goes, two guys go with. And
Stephon Gilmore is our cornerback one, by the way.
So even better. Oh yeah, Alan Lazard, great. You get Gil. Have fun, buddy. It's gonna be a long night. I hope you lace him up, dog. Like, yeah. No, you're gonna kill Aaron Rodgers. That's gonna be hilarious. Like the only way you guys lose that is if it's just London game. You're just shits out of order. Like,
yeah, some travel.
There's no football reason why I would pick the Jets over.
It's an early ass game.
Yeah,
technically.
For other factors, sure. Like, maybe that's just a classic overseas under type game because all the overseas European unders hit. No, that one, I like you. Then off a bye for Lions. Yeah, I like you a lot there. Yeah. I'm going to pick you to split with the Lions, though. I'm still just going to go with that. And the Packers, a slightly more to be determined on what we'll get there when we get there.
Well, we won in Lambeau.
We'll get there when we get there. Lions, I'll pick you guys to win this first one, 6-0. At Rams, this one is a little interesting. It will be a short week for you. Let me check the Rams. If the Rams have a bye.
It's also dependent on injury. I feel like a lot of it's dependent on injury.
I'm just gonna take a quick check who the Rams.
Like my expectation is Puka's still gonna be out. Cup will probably be back, but I'm expecting Puka to be out probably to like week 8 or 9.
Yeah, no. Puka I expect to be out for 8 weeks. Like Cup, I'd expect him to be back for that one. Ironically, even though like they're reverse and they're in like whatever. If Coop ever gets hurt or Cup ever gets hurt,
real quick, I will say that Hawkinson might honestly not even play that Lions game for the sole fact that Kirby Joseph is the one that blew out his fucking knees. So either they put him on the field and he's going to kill Kirby Joseph, or Kirby Joseph is just going to take his knee out
again. Okay, yeah, that Rams one scares me. I might pick the Rams for that one with a healthy LA Rams team.
I'm just saying, think about the Vikings team you've seen to this point. Just think about it. Just think about the Vikings team.
I'll go with you because the Rams defense they might be the worst in the NFL. But that one's a okay. Let's see where Cup and Puka is, because like a Puka and Cup offense.
Yeah, I
don't know if anyone can stop them. I don't know
if that's the case, we will have a shootout.
Yeah, in LA. Colts 11-3 at home. Yeah, I like you for that one. Jaguars, they'll be going through a coaching transition, so you're going to be winning that one. Titans also, yeah, bro, mayonnaise is going to get. You're going to end Will Levis's career after that one. He's going to get benched after that when he throws 3 pick sixes. I just looked up. You guys have 8 interceptions this year. You're averaging 2 a game.
It's bad. Like it disgusting. I told you, like I'm saying.
The Bears look really bad. I'm gonna pick you to sweep. Cardinals 12-1.
That's a trap game.
Yeah, I kind of feel that too.
Because there's no way that they lose to Kirk Cousins in the next week. And they're already looking forward to that game. Like, that's a trap. That's a trap game.
Yeah, this is the thing though. Like,
How do we feel about the bus, Grant? Let's just put it that way. How do you feel about the bus?
I think the bus will have. I think the wheels on the bus will be
Round and
going
round?
more round and round by that point of the year. But will they be going round and round enough to? Would they be going round and round enough for
Let's
Kyler
put it
to
this way:
not
is
die?
Kyler Murray running around? Is he running around like it's a freeze tag on the preschool playground, or is he having some time?
That
Because
one's an
ironically,
interesting
I'd
game.
much rather have him running around because he plays better when he's running around like it's freeze tag.
I'd like you guys to win that, but that one's
Okay,
iffy. The
three,
Falcons, yeah,
two,
no, I give you
one.
that one.
Cardinals or
Well,
Vikings?
we went over this. No, you guys, but we went over this over. Like, I don't see an L on the roster for the rest of the year, but
Schedule, not
yeah,
roster.
schedule.
Schedule.
Sorry, schedule. But like, do I think the Vikings will go 17-0? No, I don't think that.
If that happens, I
No,
think
there's
every Vikings fan will literally be on the verge of having a heart attack because they just know something bad is coming.
yeah. So if I'm gonna pick these like at the end of the year, you're gonna have Packers Lions. I don't even know how you guys are going.
I think we're gonna lose the Lions.
I
I'm gonna
think it
be
makes
honest.
sense you split with Packers Lions.
I think we're gonna lose the Lions. I think there's a better chance that I think there's a better chance we split with the Lions and sweep the Packers than split with the Packers, based off of the shit we just saw last week.
Than
But I mean,
split with the Packers and sweep the Lions.
No, other way. Split with Lions, sweep the Packers.
More likely that happens than
The other way. The last game of the season is
of
in Detroit. We get to have the Packers come to Minnesota. Like I mean, this stretch right here where we go, depending on how injured from the Rams are, but from Colts, Jaguars, Titans, Bears, that should be 4 wins right now. Then you get Bears back to back. Like, that's what's going to be interesting. Like, there's a chance that I think Matt Eberflus is just so bad at his job that it's going to be an easy sweep. But you never know. You never know. It's just when we get to these outdoor games, like going from like you have to play in Seattle following that game in Minnesota, and then come like that game in Seattle always late time of the year. Like, that's hard. That's hard. Playing in Seattle is always hard.
yes.
So I'm getting a fraud alert, so maybe it's easy. But I mean, maybe playing in Seattle is easy. But there's always my mantra is there's always going to be a surprising loss somewhere in there. There always will be. Doesn't matter what the team is. There's always going to be a surprising loss until you prove me wrong. So
yeah, it's like I would say like right now, like you're telling me Vikings, like I'm so in on a 13-4, 14-3. 14-3, I think is pushing it, but 13-4, 12-5.
There's also a very, very valid point that if the Vikings have 1 seed locked up going to the last 2 weeks, they just
that's also what I'm thinking. Like, if you have, you should do that. Do not do what Brandon Staley did a few years ago, playing the starters in a meaningless game, and they all got hurt.
Yeah, like that shouldn't.
This isn't baseball. NFL, you do want the rest. You do want the bye week in the NFL.
But yeah. Anyways, Sam Darnold MVP candidate right now. So is Kevin O'Connell for Coach of the Year. I have a list, Grant. We can end with this. I have a list, unless you have something else.
I will. I just got a quick little thing. Some things just happened in the past 5 minutes. The Braves won game 2. The Arizona Diamondbacks have been eliminated from the MLB playoffs. We will be facing the winner of the Mets and the Braves in the first round.
I'm okay with that.
I would be okay with that until I saw that first game today where the Braves go up 3-0. The Mets fight back from that to go up 6-3. Then the Braves fought back from that to go up, and then the Mets fought back. Both these teams can fight, something I haven't seen out of the Dodgers in the playoffs in over 5 years.
I'd still much rather see hey, this was not officially the playoffs, though. I would rather see the playoff Mets than the playoff Braves. So,
Everett, I don't want to say it, but the last time the Dodgers ran into the playoff Mets, well, Daniel Murphy, I still hate you.
What's the last time that happened when they ran into the playoff Braves, though?
Oh, very true. Very true.
So I'd
This is
much
a
rather
different playoff Braves team, though.
it is, but just with the way the Mets
No
are,
Acuna
I'd
and
much
no
rather.
Riley.
I'm banking more of the bet in the Mets as a franchise than I am
Oh,
as a team.
100%.
So,
I am just both those teams scare me.
yeah.
Don't like that. In other news though, I know this will make my dad sad, but infamous MLB icon Pete Rose has just passed away. Pete Rose was known for being one of the best hitters in MLB history for the Reds. Ended his career as a player manager, playing and managing, and he's most famous for betting on Cincinnati Reds baseball games when he was
Yeah,
there.
and then being upset when Shohei Ohtani was not held liable for that.
Yeah, but regardless, he is still a legend of the game, and gotta give credit where credit's due. Pete Rose.
But yeah, Graham. Let me tip of the cap. Same with Matumbo, by the way. Matumba or Matum, yeah, Matumba. And Derrick Rose, not dead but retired. Throwing that one out there too. And Carl Anthony Towns, also not dead but no longer on the Timberwolves. But
yeah, we'll save that one.
That's
no, we'll give you guys the NBA preview in April, like usual. Yeah, so you got to wait for that.
But Grant, we're gonna go with top 10 head coaches in the NFL as of, I guess, entering Week 5. So Mike McDonald, Dan Campbell, Matt LaFleur, Sean McDermott, D'Amico Ryans, Dan Quinn, Todd Bowles, Mike Tomlin, Andy Reid, and Kevin O'Connell. So,
yeah, I don't think there's ultimately too much debate to go around this. We are looking at right now, as of Week 4 in the NFL. We're also doing this before the Monday night footballs because we still have 2 Monday night footballs apparently. But yeah, I'd say one thing this year that it might take us another week or two for people to catch along, but Seahawks had the most cupcake start to the year.
Very cupcake
I've ever seen. The couple teams have gotten some solid draws to start off the year, and that's why I kind of knocked them down. But I will say for your team's 4-0, but you've gone through a gauntlet. Niners, Texans, Packers back to back to back. Before the season, if anything, those are 3 games you look at, you're like,
people were saying I just want to
get out of that alive. Yeah,
like, I saw a clip the other week.
I think you guys will win, but like
I saw a clip the other week of a legitimate talk show, like podcast talk show. They were like, yeah, so starting off 0-5, go to the bye. Gonna lose the next 3 games. You know what? We're gonna be 0-9.
I just remember, like, I'm gonna take a quick gander at your Vikings schedule predictions.
I said 8-9. I said 8-9.
I'm just curious what you thought of that split of games. I'm curious.
You know what? I am curious too. I probably said that we were going to lose at least 2 of them.
I would expect you to probably. So, Everett, I got it up right now.
Okay.
Do you want to know what you predict for the first 4 games?
Yeah, I would.
You predicted 1-3. Win versus Giants, 3 straight L's.
Honestly, you know what? That's me being as a realistic Vikings fan as possible.
I would have probably said the same thing too, like just circumstances. After that, though, this is what you went moving forward. You went win the week after, Jets. For Lions, you have the Vikings winning the next 3 with a loss coming
to the Titans,
to the Rams.
Okay.
Which what we were kind of just talking about, like the Rams, who I don't know.
I think my argument in there was Sean McVay knows Kevin O'Connell, and that's going to be large.
I didn't even think about that part. Did not even think about that angle. But good point. Good point. Did not think about that. You have a Colts win, Jags win, a Titans L.
That was at this point, that no way that happens. But I was like, it's going to be like one of those get 'em games.
Bears win, Cardinals loss, Falcons win, Bears loss, Seahawks win, lose the last two.
Yeah, that's where I was like, oh, there's no. I'm going to be honest. Me making that, my literal thought process was there is no way that we end up going 10 and whatever. So I was like, we have to go 8-9. There's no way we can go
Yeah, fair.
10-7. I was like trying to be as realistic as possible because it's just that as a Vikings fan, any glimmer of hope in success always is overshadowed by an immediate fear of when is the problem going to start? When is the injury going to happen? When are we going to give up 28 straight points? Like there's always something. Literally the other day when the Vikings game was on yesterday, I texted you. I was like, yeah, I literally feel like I can't even enjoy this because I'm concerned that something is going to go wrong. And then obviously we gave up 22 straight points, but we still won. And I mean, look at the glass half full. We gave up 22 straight points, but maybe last year we'd give up 28 straight points and we'd lose. 29 straight points and we lose, right? So we stopped them. Like that's the difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to this point, I'm happy that I was wrong. So, but unless you got anything else to say, we'll probably wrap up there. A little Vikings special then the day, I guess.
I think that's how we'll wrap it up. I'd say is there a last closing thought I have? Let me check the memory.
Any last second
now.
Breaking news? Yeah. Patrick Mahomes took out his own player's ACL. There was that.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I'll say this real quick. Roger, you tried protecting your little Kansas City Chiefs by suspending Derwin James, but in reality, indirectly, suspending Derwin James ultimately led to a bigger demise for the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I'm speculating, but hey, if Derwin James is on the field, maybe Mahomes doesn't throw that pick. And if Mahomes doesn't throw that pick, then we wouldn't have a fat ass barreling into his star wide receiver's knee and taking out his ACL, trying to dive for a fumble because Mahomes threw the pick. Hey, let's like Mahomes threw that pick, and I don't think I've ever seen Mahomes book it that hard.
That was also a very bad overthrow.
Sailed it so hard. I mean, wow. I thought this guy was the GOAT. Guess I was wrong. But he absolutely sailed it. And then fat ass Mahomes just barrels full speed, trying to recover his interception because I believe that's now the fourth pick Mahomes has thrown. In the first quarter this year.
He's thrown the second most picks this season.
He has not looked good to start this year. He really hasn't.
Yeah, real quick. I'm just curious. I'm pretty sure he's thrown the second most interceptions this season. First most is Anthony Richardson with 6, and Patrick Mahomes is tied with Mayonnaise Boy for 5 for second. Then it's Kirk at 4.
Not a list you want to be. So Mahomes got 5 over the last 4. Did not look good, and then he tore Rashid Rice's ACL.
I would just like to say, Jordan Love's played in 2 games and is tied for third most interceptions in the league. He's played in 2 games and is tied for third most interceptions in the league. So
fair. Okay. Jordan Love's a bum. But yeah, Roger, you tried protecting your darling boy Travis by suspending Derwin. And I mean, ironically, in that game, Rashid Rice goes down. It was the Travis Kelce show moving forward. If Derwin was in that game, well, Travis wouldn't have been Kelce if Derwin was guarding him. So quite literally, that Derwin James suspension did give the Chiefs the win.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, Greg Roman, I got enough things to talk about you. And
that could be its own episode.
Saying this is all Roger.
That could be its own episode.
The Chargers, we threw that game away. Like Chargers, we should have won that game. We had to score a touchdown after that.
You know it's bad when Justin Herbert, who never says anything, smashes his helmet on the sideline.
Hey, I'm seeing him get worked up, and I understand it because, like, hey, if the Chargers lose,
you had to go through Brandon Staley, and that didn't even cost him to do that.
Yeah, I mean, go look up Justin Herbert on Twitter after a Chargers loss, and you will literally see people like non-ironic. They're dead serious, being like, wow, Herbert's such a bum. Like look at he can't motivate his defense. He can't inspire his defense to get a stop when they need to. Brady knows how to inspire his defense to get a game-sealing interception. Brady knows how to will D Ford to be offsides so they can win the AFC. Like Brady knows how to do that. Too bad. Justin Herbert can't will his defense to get a stop. God, what a bum. He's not a leader.
Keeping the trend of Chargers quarterbacks though, he's keeping going what Phillip Rivers started. So I mean, it's you know what, yeah. I did see one thing I will say.
A bright gem just in a field of dirt.
I absolutely love the Chargers jerseys, like the ones they have right now. I'm just like I always that I've always loved the Chargers jerseys. But the one thing that I will say, I saw the one thing. I love every fucking variation of the Chargers jersey. They're always clean. They've always been clean. My
favorite's the dark blues, but
even when we were kids, you know the Chargers were my favorite team when we were first in LA before I really started paying attention to the Vikings.
And that makes
Ryan
sense.
Matthews was my guy. I had a Ryan Matthews jersey, but the throwback, like I wish that the Chargers had a true throwback jersey, and I'm talking like 2003 dark navy blues.
Damn it, I don't have a dark navy blue.
The old retro lightning bolt helmets. I also just sent you a picture of it on Twitter. Okay. That's why I was thinking about it. Let me see. That would be that, and the Vikings throwback jersey would be the two what cleanest you just things.
Sent me. So okay, we could quickly end on this. A discussion of Reebok to Nike. Yeah. If this is how I determine NFL casuals or not. If you don't understand what Reebok NFL was like and how that football was played, then we can't have a conversation about the NFL. If you if you can't talk to me about Reebok NFL,
that era, but also as a fan, the actual quality of the jersey that you were able to buy during that era, completely different. I would say was kind of hype that every jersey at that era was all the mesh. It was all the mesh jerseys. Like Packers obviously still have that. I think that they're like literally their licensing agreement with Nike was don't you dare fucking touch this.
You need to keep that. Yes.
You have to keep it.
And I love that look. I love that mesh look. I think it looks very, very clean.
Yeah, they had to modernize it.
Yeah, I'd also say another thing is like those old jerseys. I kind of loved the way they'd sell with the sleeves, just like just being hockey jerseys.
Yeah, no, all the way down, and they like Nike tried to do it, but like they do it in a really weird way where you go like this and it's like shoulder pads up here.
No, yeah,
like it's not like it's I don't like it, but
yeah, I mean I've never tried. I don't even know how that jersey would fit on pads. I have no idea.
What I will say is like obviously some of the throwback jerseys we've got right now from Nike are phenomenal. Vikings throwback jersey might be the cleanest in the entire league. Seahawks looks pretty nice. We've got a couple other ones that look good, but a true throwback jersey needs to be mesh. That's really what it needs to be. That's how we get back to the true great era. Make the NFL great again. All right, let's go.
Make jerseys mesh again.
Make jerseys mesh again. I was trying to go something with make jerseys mesh again. That's our new pitch. That's our slogan. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening, rate us 5 stars. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and on Instagram at WaterboyPod. You can follow me and Grant on Twitter at Eversix and at WaterboyGrant. We post new episodes every week on YouTube and all podcast platforms, so make sure you subscribe, follow us there so you don't miss a single episode. We also post exclusive content every week on Instagram and on TikTok, so check all that out so you don't miss a single nugget of Waterboy wisdom. And with that, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Waterboy's out.